All right, welcome back. We've been gone for a week. Gannon was playing some baseball. So before I do the intro, Gannon, let's talk about your good news that you had happen this past week with
Let's hear it,
baseball.
Ruckman.
Yeah, so before we did our last one, we were the regular season conference champs, and then we just went down to Springfield, Missouri for felt like 2 weeks. We were in a hotel for it, but it ended up being about 6 days, and we went 4-1, and we ended up winning the conference championship, the conference tournament. So we swept both of them regular season, and then the conference tourney, and then we ended up just getting the fourth national seed, and we just had the opening round show this afternoon, and we're hosting the regionals, and we win 3 games next week. We'll be going to the World Series in Idaho at the end of the month. So it's an exciting time and it's fun because school's done and you can just focus on baseball and hang out with your dudes. But it's a fun time. But I miss this. I'm ready to get back talking.
Yeah, it's got to be great being able to go play a possibility of playing the World Series in Idaho. That
Hey man,
sounds like a blast.
Yeah, that kind
hey
of surprised me when you said that.
I really was hoping like Arizona, Texas, Florida, but it's gonna be the end of May, so it's gonna be warm no matter where. So
We're at in Idaho, like Boise.
Lewiston, Idaho.
Where's
Middle
that? Is
of
it like in the
It's like
point of it?
Yeah, it's up towards it's just like an hour and a half from Spokane, Washington. So that's where we'd fly into because I got a teammate that's actually originally from there. So
makes sense. BFE, Idaho. That's where we're
yep.
that's where we're gonna
All I
be.
say is Idaho because if I say Lewiston, they'll be like, "What?"
All right, enough of Idaho. Congrats, Gannon, on winning and
Thank you.
the possibility of the playoffs and making it and winning a World Series for college baseball in the NAIA division. That's pretty special. But obviously, we're back now. So before we dive into our topic today, Gronk spiked the subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment for us. This past week, we've had a lot of feedback through tweets, Facebook posts, Instagram posts. We've gotten a lot of DMs, messages, etc. Happened to I downloaded the app Cameo and have been able to reach out to some bigger stars, celebrities that I more than likely probably wouldn't have the chance to reach if it were on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Got to spend some money, but the bright side to that is I'm able to connect with a guy like Hugh Jackson, and to get a message out from him to our audience has it was great. We get received great feedback for that.
Hmm.
Uh, so we're gonna keep going with that. Hopefully, reach more people and we can get some interviews with some of these guys. But before I forget, our three sponsors are Bacher Auto Group, 312 Beef and Sausage, and Driftless Quality Wear. We mentioned this last time we were on air. 31 not 312. Driftless Quality Wear has a new drop coming this summer, so stay tuned for that. Uh, spend as much money as you possibly can on their hats. I mean, I think their hats are great. Obviously, not wearing it right now, but
I
spend some
got one.
money.
I love it.
Yes, sir. Use our discount code Football365. You're going to get 10% off at the checkout. And then our other two sponsors, I mean, Adam Talbert, Delbert Bunker, those two guys in Freeport, Illinois, their names alone speak for themselves. So keep supporting us and support them while you're at it, too. But today, actually, before I say that, we're joined by Josh Bisker again. He has made his return after his debut. Gannon and I liked what we saw and heard last or 2 weeks ago, and we're like, all right, we're bringing him back for this week's topic.
We're
Hey,
back,
before
boys. You
yeah, we're
ready?
back.
We're back.
Go
We're
ahead,
back.
Josh. My fault. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good, bro. That's all I want to say. But before what?
Before we get into this, Bryce and I, we always like to do our For the Cause Fridays. I don't think we picked a quote this week, have we,
We did
Bryce?
not.
I think
Let's.
hey, I got the idea here. Let's do this. We're gonna think of our own quote.
That's what I was about to say.
So
I'm
now
glad. I'm
I'm gonna
glad
have
you
you
said it.
do it because I posed the idea. So you're
Oh,
gonna start
okay.
it.
So you have more time to think. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm caught on the spot. Uh, you know what? I got a book right in front of me, and it actually kind of just stuck out to me right away. It's two words. It's not a quote. It's two words, and it says "No Excuses." It's the title of a book by Bob Stoops, a former coach at Oklahoma University and head football coach. Been a great coach throughout the years. He's coached in the college football league, and to me, no excuses. It has to do with your mental health. It has to do with football, basketball, baseball, sports in general, life in general. You want to wake up every single day and live with no excuses, no regrets. Continue to be a person that uh, is not ashamed of what you've done in the past to get you to where you are in the present, and trust your future based on not allowing excuses to be a result of certain instances in your life. So that's my for the cause Friday. I know that was kind of on the spot.
Yeah.
Taking a week off, kind of fell behind with that. But Gannon, what you got? You got an extra
Yeah.
30 seconds to think.
Yeah, I'm good. I had one. I just want to throw you underneath the bus there real quick. But
All right.
I have kind of two. I have a saying that I like for myself and then an actual quote. It was actually this past weekend when we were winning all the conference stuff. I clicked on one of my teammates' Twitter profiles just to, stalk him a little bit. And
Interesting.
his Twitter profile bio had a quote said, "Be where your feet are." And I thought that quote was really cool. There was just something about it. It's something that like I think that I even can work on is just kind of being in the present wherever you are, putting forth your best foot there, no matter what it is, school, academics, your social life, sports, whatever. Be where your feet are. I kind of have a
Mhm.
problem sometimes with thinking what I got to do in the future or what I did wrong in the past instead of just staying right where you are in the present tense and just get whatever you got to do done that day. And I think that's really good for mental health, sports. Just be wherever your feet are, enjoy it, embrace it, and be happy with the people you're around, no matter what it is or where.
Yeah, for sure. And before I ask Josh I'm gonna have Josh get put on the spot and have him say something too. But before I do that, shout out Jason Herman wearing the hoodie that he made. It's an embroidered patch of our logo. We greatly appreciate him making those for me and Gannon. And our teammates are going to be getting one pretty soon, as long as we rack up some money over the summer with jobs and stuff. But they'll be coming soon, free to our teammates. But shout out Jason Herman. We greatly appreciate you. But Josh, you're on the spot. What you got?
All right, I got one. It's tough times don't last, tough people do. And I think that speaks volumes because everybody's always going through something, whether it be a tough finals week or, something going on at home or pretty much anything. Somebody's always got something going on. And if you keep pushing through and keep fighting and, eventually it's going to be okay. Life goes on no matter what. So just keep your head up and whatever you're doing, whatever you're going through, keep pushing and you're going to be all right.
I like it. I like it.
It's facts. It's simple and basic, but that's what it comes
Yeah.
down to.
Wise words from our TikTok creator, Josh Bisker. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. So now, after that 5 minute, 7 minute introduction, we can zone in on a topic. And to this week's topic for our Friday drop is: do we celebrate in sports or do we not? And initially, what I mean by that is, when celebrating in sports, is it okay to kind of taunt another player, taunt the opposing team? Uh, is it a sign of disrespect? Uh, in a way, do people think that? And so now that you guys kind of know what we're gonna talk about in a way, uh, I'm gonna start my explanation off before Josh and Gannon chime in, and hopefully we can get going at it like last time. But um, to me, I don't see it as disrespect. I know Gannon and I were talking about this before the episode, recording it. Um, it's kind of the old generation and the new generation and their feelings on taunting and disrespecting and kind of going too far, act like you've been there before phrase type thing. But what do you guys think?
I but it's 100% what it comes down to. Before I dive into my opinion of it, is it's 100% old school versus new school. That's all it comes down to. And I think the thing that has a big effect on all this is social media, because it's replayed millions of times over and over, months after it even happened. People talk about the Jose Bautista bat flip back in the day with the Toronto Blue Jays. That's
Which kind of started it.
Yeah, and that's if we didn't have the media and the influence, social media, TV reporting, all that, as it was 20, 30 years ago, nobody probably would have said anything because you couldn't have saw it. You had to be there to. And I think some of that goes back to, you can't tell me that in the 70s, 80s, 90s, before all the media came about, there was no celebrations. There had to be people talking crap to one another, but it wasn't put under a microscope like it is nowadays on social media. And I think that's the really big thing. And like Bryce was talking about it, he saw it a week ago. It's an NAIA school down in Texas. A baseball player did it, turned around and flipped the bat back after hitting a big home run. And there were some older people, that kind of take offense to it. But if you look into the context of the game, that capped off a 7-run comeback in the inning. Anybody that knows baseball or sports would go absolutely berserk if they did that in that moment. I might have thrown the bat higher and farther.
Yeah, I mean, they were down. It was 9-8, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they capped off a 9 or 7-run comeback or something in one inning. Like, you can't tell me, well, what are you going to do? Set the bat down and don't? Yeah. It makes no sense. And there's a time and place for it all. And I think that's the lesson that I've gotten from this. yeah, you're up 14-1 and you hit a solo shot or you score a touchdown in football, you're up 5 touchdowns, you probably should take it down a notch.
Yeah.
But you're winning a conference championship. You're coming back in a big game. There's going to be celebration. It's raw emotion. I think that's what's going to help keep sports around because people want to see that. And that's why the MLB's hurting right now.
What you got?
Interesting take, Ruckman. I think there's a fine line that needs to be drawn. I have no problem with somebody like in that instance, like 7-run comeback in one inning, dude hits a bomb, and yeah, he's gonna bat flip and he's gonna celebrate. Of course, anybody would, like you said. I think I like how you said, you score a touchdown, you're up 5 touchdowns, and you go and you run all the way down the other team's sideline, scream and yell, whatever. Like that's a little over the top.
It's too much. Yeah.
Yeah, like I know when we were in high school, like our coach was like, we weren't even really allowed to celebrate. Like it was always just act like you've been there, give the ball to the ref, like, and just walk away. Like, yeah, you can, jump up with your buddies and like give them a high five or whatever, but like it wasn't anything crazy like you see in the NFL where like, Terrell Owens freaking
the popcorn.
The popcorn, like
Bro, people remember that. That's
exactly. Or like picking up the pylon and playing bowling with but nowadays in the NFL, like they have that camera like right in the on that
4K.
Yeah, bro. Like they get the whole team involved. People are dancing, blah blah blah. Like I think that's okay. I don't know. I think you have to be able to back it up. Like if you're gonna celebrate and go crazy and you're down by 4 touchdowns or like a bunch of runs or whatever sport it is, like if you're down and you're celebrating like you're up, that's not okay. I don't think you should do that. Yeah, you might have done something good, but that doesn't really give you a right. Like at that point you kind of just look dumb.
Yeah, here's my thing. I'm like kind of like to not do it in a certain instance, blah blah blah. And what you were just saying, when it comes down to understanding when you can do it, to me personally, I believe that I don't think it is disrespect, and like the act like you've been there thing to me, like Josh mentioned back when we were in high school, like that's not fun. I don't.
That's leading me right into my next point.
Like I don't care.
You're
I don't.
100% right.
I really don't care about the act like you've been there before. I don't care. Whoever's listening to this, I don't care about it.
I agree,
because
man.
guess what?
Well, I'm with you too. It makes it more fun. It makes it more enjoyable.
It does. And guess what? You know what football is? You know what basketball is? You know what sports are? Freaking entertainment. It's entertainment. So is it fun to watch when someone scores a touchdown, hand the ball to the ref, walk to the sideline? Sure, you get your 5 seconds of clapping in. How about when a guy runs to he catches a ball, he's running, beats his defender, turns around like Tyreek Hill, gives him the peace sign. What the hell's wrong with that?
And then the guy did it back to Antoine Winfield in the Super Bowl.
He did.
Exactly. Awesome.
He did.
You know what that creates?
Got me fired up, man.
It should. It's competition.
Yeah.
It's competition. It breeds competitiveness. I've harped on this nonstop because I believe that.
It only pisses more people off, which is going to make them better athletes too.
All it does is become a talking point. I don't give a damn if it becomes disrespect because guess what? Like you mentioned, Tyreek Hill got the best of Winfield. But guess what? Winfield didn't forget that. He didn't forget it.
And when he let him know.
He let him know in the Super Bowl. And guess what? They both got fined. For what? What did they? Yeah, he got the ring. He got the ring. Guess what? Whoever makes the last laugh, it don't matter. It leads into the next season. Especially in high school sports when you have 4 years to play. Why can't I have fun? Why can't I have fun and let loose? It's
Ruckman,
not.
I think you made a good point when you said with the Batista bat flip and like how everything is like just documented and everybody's like mic'd up and like you can hear and see everything. Like, do you think like when players do get mic'd up, like specifically for a game, do you think that like plays into how they act?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
how
okay,
though?
so
in a good way, bad way, like when
so
elaborate.
ESPN over like the last 2 years for like spring training games and Sunday night baseball. I'm just doing this more because baseball is coming along slower than all the other sports. That's kind of why I'm picking out baseball right now. But they started micing people up during spring training games when the games didn't mean anything. And the reaction from people all across the world tuning in was through the roof. People loved it. And again, that's only for the right people. Not every athlete is feeling comfortable doing that, which is their decision. I get that. But the people that have the energy, that don't care that they're talking on the air, that are doing all this, they don't care. Now they're starting to do it. They're doing it in live games now, and it's getting more excitement. I think, like you said, Bisker, it really depends on the person. And I think some of the athletes, but going back to that social media thing, like you said, with what I said
Hold
about
on.
Jose Bautista.
Before you get into this,
1 second, I just want to say one. I'm going to say this, and then something about the excitement, like when you talked about from high school. And then I'll let you get into your stuff.
all right.
That Jose Bautista stuff was so much under the microscope, and that's the territories that come along with social media. What we have now in our generation, and some people aren't willing to embrace it. You're going to hear a lot more stuff and see a lot more stuff that you wouldn't have 20 years ago. But
Yeah.
back to that excitement thing, it's so much different going from high school baseball to college baseball, just how much more freedoms you can get with like just talking, saying stuff, whatever you do during a game. And we have 23, 24, 25-year-olds that are playing a kid's game, and they hit a hit. You don't want them to celebrate. We're out here grinding since last August to win a national championship, and you're going to tell them, no, you can't bat flip. No, you can't scream when you strike somebody out. Our closer this weekend counted how many strikeouts he had to end the game. Like, it's because he's excited. We won a tournament game, moving to the next round, and he's hyped about it. What's wrong with it? Tell me what's wrong about that. That's what I want to know when people say it's not the right thing to do. What's wrong with it? That's my point.
Nothing's wrong with it in all reality. The Migos said it best when they said, "Walk it like I talk it."
If you can do it like my guy,
Good
my
point.
teammate throws 90 plus and he struck out 5 straight guys. You can do that then.
And back to Josh's point about the mic'd up thing, I think that's a very interesting thing to bring up during this because people are mic'd up while they're competing. While like you're gonna hear celebration, you may hear cuss words, but I think the beauty of that is like ESPN or whoever's doing it has the ability to obviously cut out parts.
Well,
If
yeah.
yeah, and I think so. I think you're never seeing the true side of that player, and that's what I think the problem is with mic'd up. Like being mic'd up is I think you'll see a player like have fun and let loose and like a guy in the outfield. I've seen Mike Trout mic'd up before and just like talking to himself out in the outfield, being like, "Oh, it's a beautiful day out today." Blah blah blah. Like that's not what the player's thinking really. He's just saying it because he's mic'd up and doesn't know what else to say. I think it's cool. It's cool, but obviously there's things that are said and things that are done and that get eliminated from the true perspective of who that player is. And I think that's the only department of what's lacking with being mic'd up and celebrating and in that sense. That's just kind of what I think.
I know on the ESPN games, I've heard Freddie Freeman drop an F-bomb on a spring training game just because they're literally just videotaping him during the game while he's at the mic, and there's no time for those guys to cut it out.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool about it because fans like me, I want to know their raw emotion. You want an unfiltered scene from your athletes, what they want, what they are as a person on and off the field. And I think those 10, 15-minute conversations they have during a game with the announcers and all that, depending on the person and the personality, the right person you get, you will really get their raw emotion. And I think that's the cool part about all this.
You know what's funny to me?
What?
I heard that. The funniest part that for me is like these athletes and they get like almost knocked on a sense like from the older generation if you talk if you do this blah 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 these older generation people don't even give the player the chance even if they're like the greatest person in the world with doing outside charity work being a great player
right away.
They're labeled automatically because of disrespect and being cocky. For example, I know parents that are like that don't like Terrell Owens, that don't like Lamar Jackson right now, don't like. I actually heard someone tell me the other day that their parent doesn't like Dak Prescott, and
I bet that hurt your heart a little bit.
It did because I mean, yeah, like one, he's a natural born leader outside of the fact of football and stuff, but he doesn't celebrate like that either way. I'm like, what? But then there's other guys. Like I'm trying to think of some other guys. You got who are some other guys? Tyreek Hill.
And I think another factor in this, Bryce, like you made that point, a good point, a very good point you made was it's not always generational with some of that. It's also who's your favorite team, who you don't like. But the more people that The common thing with all this, of all the people that showboat and do the big things on the professional scene, majority of the time are their best players on their team and the best players in the league. And they're getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars to entertain people, and then you get mad when they do a 5-second thing. Isn't that what you're seeing? Isn't that what you're paying to see, or logging onto your computer or television to watch?
Sir. Yes,
You know what
sir.
I think it's a little bit different. In like baseball, not so much baseball, but definitely like in football, like you're pretty far away from like
Nobody can hear you.
the fans. Yeah. So like even like especially in the NFL, with like tens of thousands of people screaming and yelling and everything going on, music, blah blah blah. But like then you go to the NBA where there's people sitting right on the court, can hear every single thing that every single player is saying, like in the middle of the game where it's like, like no filter, blah blah blah. Like I think that's a little different. What do you think about like in the NBA celebrating or like talking trash, or like how does that differ from like football or even baseball?
Well, I mean, I think there is a difference just because of that spatial awareness and how much more up close fans are. But like my example with football is like, for football, obviously, like people get mad at Tyreek Hill for throwing up a peace sign, or Antonio Brown jumping on the field goal post. But dude, do people not understand like the amount of terrible words and terrible things that are said in a huddle, or when you're going to tackle somebody and you're at the bottom of a pile? I don't even think people understand how bad, like, it gets on the level of like, I will kill you.
Yeah. No,
Like,
bro, it's awful, and that's the same territory as we're seeing with social media, man. There's so many good and bad things about social. We could have a whole podcast segment on social media and the effects on sports.
Yeah.
But it's just insane to me, that type of stuff, And the reason why that I really am passionate about this, you're seeing those guys at the professional stage, or like a high collegiate athlete. Some people don't always come from a lot, and this is the only thing that got them out from where they're from, to get them some money and financial stuff down the road, wealth and all that. This is all they have. They're pouring their heart and emotion to all this. They're working they're working their asses off day in, day out, just for that 2 or 3 hours of the game, and then they go out and excel on the field, and then you're just supposed to stand there like nothing happened. You get fired up when you're working a desk job. If you get a raise, you're going to stand up and scream. You're going to shout. I mean, you're going to be happy with your family. You're going to celebrate. What's wrong with that? It's the same principle. It's just in sports. And again, it's on a spectrum for media to critique everybody. And that's the issue when it comes down to all this, is the media.
Well, hold on. You made incredible points, but we kind of strayed away from Josh's question.
No, you're good.
Yeah, no.
And I want to answer that because I think it's a great question, in the sense of NBA is different than the NFL. The fans are a lot closer. They're up on the court with you. And I think when it comes down to it, like there's a fine line. There's a fine difference between cussing and celebrating. And I think sometimes cuss words get thrown into celebrating, and like these like athletes need to understand that like it's still a kid's scene. Kids are watching you, they idolize you. Some kids may even have on court seats watching LeBron James play, and then all of a sudden LeBron James is dropping F bombs, cussing people out, getting thrown out of the game. Not to say it's happened, but to just say that like that's not celebrating. That's being,
a fine line we discussed earlier.
That's being disrespectful. Yes, that's being disrespectful. But it's not disrespectful if LeBron James takes his baby powder before the game and throws it straight up in the air. Kids love it. That's not necessarily celebrating, but it's part of entertainment. So
like you said, and I think it also comes down to some of this. Sorry, Bisro, I'll let you do. You want to talk?
Boss. You're good. Okay. You're good. No, go ahead.
It also comes down to some of this is on the league ownerships, I think, with the people that are putting together the fines and are saying, hey, we need to fine these people. Look at the NFL. NFL players get fined for if they wear too low of socks.
Yeah.
What the hell does that have to do with somebody's playing performance? If they want to wear low top socks, no show socks, and their skin or their shins are exposed and they cut it up or get hurt, that's on them. I like little stuff like that. But like Bryce was saying,
hold on, you know what that is though?
It's controlling. They want to be able to control.
It's not controlling. Yeah, it's a way for the NFL to say you can't do this, and then you're going to have players who do it, and guess what? The NFL makes money.
Yeah, and that's all. And that's the issue with all this. They should only be getting fined, like you said, for example, when LeBron James cusses somebody out or does something inappropriate, does an inappropriate gesture. Not LeBron. Let's not keep throwing LeBron, but any
Yeah,
athlete.
he ain't like that.
Like some athletes might, do some nasty, or I might do some inappropriate things, whatever, just some weird things during the game. That's when they need to get reprimanded and get fined, when it's showing bad stuff for kids that are looking up to them. But just the pure emotion and celebration and get them fined for dunking on somebody and getting a technical.
Kids obviously must not think it's a bad thing if they're celebrating at their young age.
Bro,
Like they're doing it because they like it, and they're seeing these athletes do it, and they're like, okay, Steph Curry turned around, hit a three, turned around, looked at his bench, eyed him down. So guess what? I'm gonna hit a three, turn around and eye down my bench. Cool, because I hit a three. It's not disrespectful. I just hit a three right in your face, and you couldn't guard me. Boo hoo. Go back and play offense. Literally, grow up.
It's all it is, man. And we were 10 years old. We would always trash talk. We would talk until somebody. Guess what we did? It would piss one of us off to go do better in the next game or whatever we were doing. It's competition, like you said. This only isn't just for the showboating and everything else. I think it promotes more competition among athletes, no matter where it is, no matter what level, age, whatever.
It motivates the other person to just want to do better, to be able to do, like, to be able to make somebody else feel how they felt in that situation.
Yep. And here's the thing. Our generation, like we've talked old, new, but our generation is supposed to be the soft generation, isn't it?
I don't know.
You called us soft. You called our generation
soft
lately.
No. I'm saying, lately it has been. There is instances of it, but I'm saying like this,
getting tongue tied on his own words.
No. I'm saying the older generation classifies us as soft. Classifies us at our age, being 20, being 15, that we've grown up in a soft world, but yet you guys are the ones getting mad that we have fun on a football field or we have fun on a baseball diamond. Why? Why do you care? And more often than not, it's probably people that have never played the sport. It's probably people that
or never played past the high school level
that don't know what competition's like, so they have to just point out a finger and
they got nothing else to do. Why do you think people create fake accounts on social media and tell people to go kill themselves?
Yeah, exactly. And if you're a player that gets disrespected, and I'm gonna use the word disrespect because guess what? It is disrespect, but it's a good disrespect. It's a wake up call if you're getting beat. So I'm gonna a situation is like if a player gets beat and he just breaks down, puts his head down. Guess what? That player who beat you got in your head. He got in your head. You know who talks his trash all the time? Jalen Ramsey. And how many people have really beat him one-on-one outside of Devontae Adams? I know you're about to say that.
Yeah, you got me.
But guess what?
You're right. Top 5 corner of the league, top 3 corner. He does it every year. Every year.
But he walks it too. He walks it
every year. People hate him just because of it, but he's a damn good.
I'll get up in your face like this and clap right in your face because guess what? You're not going to do anything about it. And
the other good example is Chad Ochocinco. I know Bryce and I we watch his podcast.
I love him.
Brandon Marshall, I love him. The other 2 guys I can't think of their names right now, but whatever it's called.
I think it's Fred Taylor.
Yeah, Fred Taylor, and who's the guy with the dreads?
I can't think of his name.
I can't remember, but you guys go check out that podcast. It is a top.
I Am Athlete.
They sit down with all different athletes from all different sports, famous.
I've seen a couple videos. They talk to like DK and
they talk to everybody.
They sit down
and they talk mad smack, bro. That whole time
they get fired up.
Brandon Marshall and Chad Ochocinco look like sometimes they can fight in episodes.
Yeah,
this competitiveness that never leaves you as you're an athlete.
Never.
And Chad Ochocinco.
That's not even on the field. Imagine like
they're retired.
10 times higher on the field.
They're not playing anymore.
I love it. How can you not love that?
And bro, that's probably my favorite athletic podcast out there. I mean,
I'm in it too. Yeah. No,
dude, they just sit around and just talk about the football, and it's Chad Ochocinco would do weird stuff during games. He would talk about stuff that didn't even have anything to do with football. Next thing you knew, he was beating you down the field for a touchdown.
Oh, he'll sit there.
He's more locked in than the people that he's playing against.
Yeah, because guess what? He'll sit there, line up one-on-one with the DB who's probably good, average to great. I don't know. Chad Ochocinco didn't normally line up against terrible DBs. They normally put probably the best player on him.
Got in their head.
But guess what? He'd line up across from him and say, "Hey, when was your last meal? You eating McDonald's? Because I like McDonald's. That's what I eat. That's my diet." Next thing you know, down say go, and Chad just beats you he's 3 yards ahead of you because you were thinking about McDonald's while he was locked in talking about it. He got in your head. He got in your head. I love Chad Ochocinco.
And that's another form of not even celebrate, just a little antics in sports.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not blown up under a microscope because it's not loud and in your face. But that's just another fine art of sports, man. And that gets me fired up, man. I'm fired up talking this because we've all played sports. We've all been athletes. It doesn't leave you. Like, I can be 40 years old, being 20 years out from playing sports. I'm still going to get fired up for my Cubs, Packers, whatever other team I like. You know what I mean? I'm going to be fired up because it's sports. And
at the end of the day, if I beat you, I'm going to disrespect you. And if you
I'm going to let you know that I beat you.
I wouldn't say, I would say let you know. I don't know about disrespect. I would say
to me, disrespect in football, and to me, disrespect in sports is not cussing somebody out. It's disrespecting somebody. Like there is that fine line we've mentioned.
They take it as disrespect. Like, it's not you. I don't think you mean it in a disrespectful way.
It's like indirect.
Like, maybe a little bit, but like not really. You're just showing that you're better. Like, you're the best. Like,
and I want them to take it as disrespect because then they'll shut down. And if you shut down, like I said, you're soft. You're soft. If you're playing sports and you can't take the heat, then get the hell out the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, and that's spot on. But I think also that needs to come along with time as people are getting older through their athletic careers, and youth sports needs to also chill out on some stuff with some, like, especially some of like the Pop Warner, some of those real youth football stuff that they do. That might be a time that you kind of want to stay away from any big celebration stuff because the kids are still trying to learn the game. Their feelings can get hurt quicker. You know, they're not into the game.
There is an age where it's okay.
But as soon as you graduate high school, even in high school, like you said,
high school's fine. Have fun. These kids are 16, 15, grow up.
They graduate high school. They're out of you're on your own. You either make it or break it. If you don't like it, don't play the sport. That's what it comes down to.
As simple as that.
If you can't take that, completely. It's the same thing as constructive criticism from your coach. It might suck in the moment, but in retrospect, it's going to help you a lot more than you think it will.
At the end of the day, if you can't take hate or disrespect in my terms, because Gannon and Josh don't want to say disrespect, but in my terms, if you can't take that during a football game, how the hell are you going to take it when you're working a 9-to-5 job in an office? When your boss comes up to you,
yeah,
and he says, guess what? You didn't fill out this damn report right. Take it home. We're gonna be working on this all night. If it's not submitted in my office the next day, then you're gone.
And guess what? You're gonna get it done.
So if
you
can't,
not, then you get fired. It's just like taking the crap talk. You're either gonna take it and use it and get better from it, or you're gonna fail. It's one or the other.
And like I said, if you can't take it, then don't do it. Don't play.
This was good, man. This was real good.
Yeah, just don't play then. Like, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, it's fun. Obviously, a lot of people go out for sports just to have fun and make friends. But at the end of the day, I've said at the end of the day like 4 times. I need to stop saying that. But really, it's all love at the end of the game. Like Jalen Ramsey, after he balls out and locks you down one-on-one, he's going to come up to you after the game and still tell you you're a damn good wideout. You're still a hell of a receiver, but guess what? He just beat you today. He beat you during that day. You may get the best of him next week, but he beat you during that day, so he has the right to talk. Put up or shut up. Really? Is Gannon alive?
Facts. I think Gannon's frozen.
There's some...
there he is.
See me, I'm getting red. I was getting stressed, man. It's just, I had that like 10 minutes ago. I don't know. Technology's not my friend today, but I'm back, so we're good.
All right. Well, what were you saying? You were trying to say something. Red hat.
Yeah, weren't you just trying to say something?
Not that I know of. You guys are putting me on the spot here, man.
All right. Well, you put me on the spot.
Well, you want me to wrap it up?
Nah, let's go a little. Let's go a little bit longer.
Going? You want to keep
a little bit
longer?
longer. Josh has asked us some good questions. You got any questions about any of this?
I want to hear Josh. Let's hear Josh's take on some of this.
We'll sit back and no kicking, Josh.
I think the biggest part of this whole thing, I think it is generational, because I feel like it's not even going to be a question of like, is it okay or is it not okay? Like, when we're like adults, like grown, 40, like Ruckman said, like 20 years down the road, like you can get fired up about it. Like, that's how it is. But like, we grew up like, or are growing up in a sports industry where these huge celebrations are becoming very okay, and 20 years down the road, it's not even going to be a question anymore.
Yep.
Like, it's not even going to be in the discussion whatsoever. It's going to be something totally different.
Yep.
And I don't know. I think that's the biggest thing.
No, you're right, man. I think the cool thing about it is that no matter what happens going forward with all this, our generation is going to have a really cool impact on our society.
Oh,
Like, not even the
100%.
celebration, just everything with technology, everything that hit the 21st century. Like, since when we were all
Like,
born,
we're gonna see it all.
Bisker's a couple years older than us. He was born in the 90s.
Just a little bit.
But Bryce and I we're all within the same age. Everybody, that's 18 to 24. That generation, man, we're going to have a lot of stuff, and we're going to have a lot of impact on everything in the world because there's so many new things coming out. I don't even know what the hell the world's going to look like when we're 40.
Well, here's the thing.
Cars.
Neither do I.
Here's the thing.
Honestly, I bet when we're 40, football won't be a thing.
Yeah, okay. We'll
That's
talk
an
about that.
interesting take.
We'll
and
talk
I
about
agree
that
with
a
you.
different
That's a different episode, but I'm
agree
standing
with
by that.
I don't want to dive into that because that's going to piss me the hell off.
Oh,
But-
trust me, but Bisker's right. It's
It's a possibility, but forget about it for now.
A high possibility.
Yeah, okay. Well, now that you said that, I kind of forgot my point. I had a nice point ready to go. I'm blanking.
Generational thing?
It must not have been that good.
Yes.
Got it.
Bisker, thank you. Generational thing. Okay. So here's my, this is the way I think. This older generation, their parents, so like 2 generations ago, those parents were hardworking people who were farmers. They were type of workers who worked 8 to 6, worked 9 to 5.
Hands-on jobs.
Yes, did those jobs that you were raised as a kid to take over the family business and go into the family business. You didn't get to work for your dreams. You got to work for your parents' dreams and their parents' dreams, and so on and so on and so on.
The family legacy.
Yes, and I think our generation was really I think it's starting to be the first generation to break that trend, because I think you're going to start to see, when me, Josh, Gannon get older, and we progressively get older, because I feel like we're 40, but we're not yet. But as we get older, our society, our generation doesn't want that. We don't want to be.
We don't want the norm.
We want
Yeah.
to make our own.
Make your own path.
Everything's
Yes.
changing, man. It's
That's the
nuts.
best part. I love it because guess what? I'm gonna do what I want to do because I want to do it.
It's
Simple
awesome.
as that.
That's all it is, because you look 3-4 years ago, social media, everything, to now, how big a difference it is.
Oh.
It's all the same principles. but
Everyone
everything
is
inside that principle is completely different.
everyone
Just
is their
imagine
own
till
entrepreneur
2025.
now.
Yeah,
Everyone is their own entrepreneur now in our society.
there's more
Especially-
evolution with everybody
is.
now.
There is, and people are not scared now. Nowadays, we started this podcast in November, and before that, I wouldn't have thought to speak what I had to say. But now that I've done it, now that I've been doing it, I'm not scared to speak my voice, to speak who I want to be, what I want to do, because that's the only thing holding some people back, is they're scared to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Do what the hell you want to do.
Reaction from everybody else.
Yeah, why?
They're scared
Why?
to hear that. They're scared to hear somebody comment on it, or say a comment on it that says this sucks, or this is stupid.
100%.
And then they're gonna see that and they're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm terrible, I suck. Then they're
Mhm.
not gonna do it anymore. But that it shouldn't even matter, because it's
Guess what?
it's what you like doing.
Well, guess what?
It's also the other
Ruckman?
part that comes along this too. It's growing up 100%.
Yeah,
growing
it
up, and just like I know, especially for me, getting done with high school, moving away, not talking to as many people that I know from. I don't care what people think or say about me. In high
don't
school,
give a
I was
damn.
like, oh crap, this girl or whatever, that type of stuff. Now it's like I'm 20, gonna be 21 in a month. I'm living my life and I'm doing what's happy for me, and that's what's most important. I don't really care other than what my 10 close friends and family members say. I really don't,
Hmm.
and that's
And-
what it comes down to.
I'm gonna have a question for you guys, but before I say that, I want to say, the reward of doing what you want to do is your celebration. That's what it is. Your celebration is your hard work and your dedication that resulted in a reward, and you get to celebrate doing something special. I've been celebrating for the last 4 or 5 months because I finally did something that I've always wanted to do, and I've been able to achieve a lot of things based on just putting something that was an idea in my head out for the world now. But now that we mentioned all that, we said do what you want to do. So, Gannon, instead of asking you, what do you want to do? What are you going to do when you're older? What are you going to
Good
do?
question. That's a really good phrase.
And I'll ask the same thing to Josh.
I'm glad you worded it like that, man, because you always get asked, what do you want to do when you're younger?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, because it switches now that we're at this stage in our life. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be working for a professional sports team in their front office in the next 3 to 4 years. I might have to start out at some lower levels, lower teams, minor leagues, not professional leagues in the United States, but work up, eventually be in a front office position. There's so many different jobs and that stuff. I can't even pick one job. Yeah. But just being a front office and driving to a ballpark stadium every day, that's what I'm going to be doing for my life. And hopefully I get to travel to big cities all across the U.S.
And the best part about asking that question, instead of what do you want to do, but instead of what are you going to do, you get excited and you want to talk about it.
Yeah, you actually want to answer the question.
Yes.
Instead of someone just beating around the bush.
It's your own path, man. You're the only person doing it. You do it for yourself.
So, Josh, I know. What are you going to do? I know,
what am I going to do right now. I don't exactly know specifics, but I know that when
you're ready,
when I'm 50, looking back, 60, whatever, I know that I'm going to have no regrets in whatever I did, whatever that may be, wherever it may be. I know I'm going to be happy doing it, whatever it may be, wherever it is. And honestly, that's all that matters. Whether it's crazy successful or kind of fails or really, really fails big time. Failure is a part of life. Yeah. That's okay.
And I know,
Josh. Go, Bis. Go, Bryce. I know you want to talk.
Go ahead, Bryce.
I had some to say because I know me, Gannon, and Josh we've talked about like Josh has a different situation than us right now, and he's working towards something else than what Gannon and I are, because Gannon and I are in school doing what we want to do.
That's okay. That's
no, I know. But wait. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference. The best part about Gannon's answer and the best part about Josh's answer when you combine them is that Josh doesn't have an answer yet for it because he has yet to lay out that foundation and that plan for it. But Gannon has the plan, so he's able to say what he's going to do. And Josh, by not saying what he's going to do yet, is understanding the fact that he hasn't found that yet. But once he does, that plan will allow him to do so.
Oh, exactly.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying there's
on the head.
There's no problem with not saying I don't know what I'm going to do yet, because
if you don't know, that's okay.
You're not going to have that answer right away. It doesn't come by just snapping your finger.
That's piggybacking off the generational things. You're supposed to go to college for 4 years. You're supposed to do this. Yeah, I'm in school and I'm doing my 4 years, but it's way different. Not everybody fits that mold. School's not always for people. People are going to the trades. They're making a hell of a life out of themselves when they're in the union doing stuff. That's the bright side about all this. And I think that's another
There's so much opportunity.
It's another cool thing about our generation, man. If you want to do hair, you want to do nails, you can be a cosmetology major and be done in 2 years and be making money on your own.
Do what you want.
20, 30 years ago, that was frowned upon. 100%. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stick to the mold, follow the script.
Stick to the
mold.
mold.
We're going off script, just like we're doing here. We're one script tonight.
Yeah.
How good it was.
But guess what? Do what you want, not what someone else wants you to do.
Yeah, don't do anything for anybody else.
Because
if you're for yourself, that's literally.
And if you're doing it for somebody else, you're creating their happiness, not your own.
Mm-hmm.
They're happy.
To bite you in the butt.
It is, because they're happy for you, but you're not happy for yourself. And guess what? You're not happy for yourself. You're not gonna do well. And I know,
when you do well, don't feel bad to celebrate a little bit.
Yeah,
celebrate.
Go buy yourself a damn Blizzard from Dairy Queen if you want to celebrate with that.
Get that McDouble with mac sauce on it. Get happy, man. Get fired up.
We know you're hungry. You have.
No, I ate. We're good. But I know we kind of stranded away from our initial topic of celebration. But I liked adding that topic in there because I think it all relates bound to if you do what you want to do, you're going to celebrate because you love it. If you're having fun out on a football field, you're going to celebrate because you love it. At the end of the day, if you personally love what you do, you're going to celebrate, and it's okay to celebrate by being who you want to be. That's my final comments on all this.
You're 100% right, and we hit the nail on the head. But Bis, you got anything, or can I wrap this up? You want to finish?
Go ahead and wrap it up, dude. Bryce said exactly what I was
No,
thinking.
I mean
so.
we all said different versions of what we all said, but
But
I
we
think
we
put-
all see eye to eye on
we
situations.
all
this.
put our own twist on it and our own cool things. Again, that's the cool thing about all this. We can talk about the same 3 topics, whatever, for an hour episode. We can all put our own twist on it. That's the cool part about this. But yeah, man, this one kind of was up and down, but it was cool emotions. I really liked it. But again, shout out to our sponsors, Backward Auto Group, 312 Beef and Sausage, and Driftless Quality Wear.
Check them out.
Keep doing our stuff. We're going to start uploading more here, especially once my season eventually wraps up with baseball, hopefully longer than sooner. But just keep viewing, subscribing, and liking our YouTube channel. Keep interacting with us, checking out the TikToks. I know Josh is putting some good stuff together again for that, but just keep interacting with us, guys, and we're going to keep going with this. And stay tuned. We're going to have a really good interview for you guys this week.
Good luck, Gannon, in the World Series. I hope you get more than a participation trophy. We'll see you guys Saturday.
Ruckman. Good luck, boss. Good luck.